Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Hawkman, issue number 2. Listen, I know you might be saying, Professor Bell, this is one of your favorite comic book characters, so you're always going to say this is a good book, right? Not true. Not true at all. I'm going to explain all that good stuff and why this is still a hot freaking book after I give you a brief description of what happens in the book and tell you about who made the character, who made the book itself. Okay, so this issue is called Death's Doorway, the conclusion, from end to beginning. So this is going to wrap up a particular storyline, and then we're going to start on a new storyline right after that. Robert Venditti on writing, Fernando Passarin on pencils, Auclair Albert and Wade von Graubagger on inks, Jeremy Cox doing the colors, and Rob Lay doing the letters. The covers by Mikel Janin, and the variant covers by Gerardo Zaffino. And Hawkman was created by Garner frickin' Fox, baby. Okay, so from the very beginning, Hawkwoman's trying to figure out what the frag is going on with this stone, this key that's supposed to unlock, I don't know, something. Well, I know. She doesn't know. She's not entirely sure, but it has something to do with Carter being possessed by this body of the Sky Tyrant, this Earth 3 version where all the heroes are actually evil. You get to find out what happened to the Hawkwoman of Earth 3. And I'm just saying, that's pretty messed up, all right? Whole bunch of crazy stuff in here, but she winds up touching the key, and oh look, all of a sudden she comes across every single one of her, well, not every, but a whole lot of her lives throughout time and space. Okay, now she's kissed. Now she's kissed with this curse. All right, and when you look at this freaking beautiful giant-sized spread, like, oh my god, it is freaking gorgeous. And you see the Kryptonian version of her. Venditti has some kind of a freaking love fetish with Superman, and he's just all anything Superman related. He's just like, yep, yep, there we go, there we go. Anyway, so he's got to have, of course, a freaking Kryptonian version of Shiera, probably called Shi'ara or something like that. Whatever these crazy freaking creepy Kryptonian names. Anyhow, you see a whole bunch of versions of her. They also throw Cinnamon in there, which is perfect. I'd be really disappointed if not. And a couple other versions, which I'm not familiar with because, well, it looks like they're brand new. It seems like Venditti's really good at doing that. So, all things being what they are, she now has to deal with the Sky Tyrant and trying to get some information out of him. Now, he fakes out something that actually does happen later on in the book, which is a pretty cool ghost moment. Yes, I mean ghost like the Patrick Swayze version. I'm saying that was playing in the background or something, and I'm not mad at it, all right? I have no questions here. We're good. There is a weird thing that happens in here that I'm not entirely sure what's going on. There's something up with Sky Tyrant's mace. Now, you remember when he blew up the giant-sized Titan version, like Titan Hawk version of Hawkman? He blew up his mace with, well, Sky Tyrant blew up Titan Hawk's mace with his own, which is freaking wicked, is weird. It didn't make any sense. Well, Shiera is able to use her mace to block an attack by Sky Tyrant. Puts his mace into the wall. It's got those gigantic freaking. It's not dots. They're full blown spikes. They're like death spikes. Punk rockers don't have spikes this damn big. And just boom, puts it in the wall. She still keeps her mace against it and puts her foot on her own mace to keep it back. And then she pulls out her sidearm. Oh, that's right. That's right. One of the cool things about Shiera, she don't mind packing heat, brah. Like everybody, all the other versions of Hawkman, it's like, oh no, I'm out there. I might use a laser pistol if it's class action while I'm on Thanagar, but other than that, excuse me, unless I'm a wingman, I'll use a crossbow at best. All right, no, I'm a melee weapon. I'm a medieval weapon type of person. Hawkgirl's like, or Hawkwoman, she's like, I got no qualms with pulling out a blicky. She just pulled what? Love that about this character, and really, really personified in this issue. So the book starts to get a little bit wicked, but the one part that's very interesting to me is that the longer that the mace is on this mace, that these two maces, the metal of it specifically, which should be the nth metal, are touching. Now, I wonder if this has something to do with the fact that this is Earth 3. In fact, this is actually an antithesis to nth metal, like nth metal. I don't know. I don't know what the hell you would call it. But anyway, like anti-nth metal, where when the two are in contact, there could be a problem. Now, Sky Tyrant, he's got, you know, regular sized mace, whatever, and the Titan Hawk had a super huge, or like there's never been that much nth metal in one particular, you know, breath at a moment. Now, if that was actually made of nth metal, then all of a sudden, hey, here you go. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hit it, and maybe there's some kind of a reaction that causes it to blow up, right? Well, in this case, it takes a little longer because it's sitting there, and you can see in each panel it starts to glow a little bit brighter, and then it starts to do a little like that. It starts, you know, humming, and all of a sudden, bada boom, blows out the side of the freaking ship. This way, and then we almost have an alien moment, which I'm not going to complain about. I'm not going to complain about this. This was a really good issue. This in an otherwise really good title that is consistently good. Look. Hawkman, full disclosure, my second favorite character of all time. I absolutely love Hawkman. Hey, Professor Bell, what's the one power you can have if you can only have one power? Winged flight. Not Superman flight. Superman flight. I want winged flight. That's just what it is for me. I want to just spread huge wings, and I want to just fly, baby. I want to just fly. That is what I get. That's what I love about Hawkman. Plus, you know, his touch with the past. He's the only archaeologist in comics that actually makes sense. All the other ones are like, yeah, so you're an archaeologist because you feel like being an archaeologist, and it's a good plot device to put you where you need to be. Right, Indiana? Anyway, Hawkman being an archaeologist actually makes sense. Here's the thing. By this being one of my absolute favorite characters, I hold the character in higher regard and to a higher level. So when somebody goes and writes a Hawkman comic book, I'm not just going to be one of those guys, and I don't have any problem with those people, but I'm certainly 100% not one of the guys who be like, oh, we got to move forward and we got to support the comic book. And no, write a damn good comic book and draw a damn good comic book, or I'll fall off the comic book. Captain America is my favorite character. I haven't read Captain America for about a year. I hold my characters to a higher standard. The more I appreciate, the more I love these characters. This guy right here, hold him to a very, very high bar, like a Jeff Johns level bar. I'm digging on this. I'm not going to compare one with the other because they've got some comparisons, but mostly incomparable. This is just simply a good book. It's not even like I dig on Venditti all that too much. I don't have a problem with him, but I find myself falling off of all his books. I'm not even reading Justice League anymore. I'm just not there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one of these days I'll go back to it, but for right now, I'm just not in that place right now. So literally, the only reason why I'm still on this book is because it's a damn good book. Every single issue keeps on delivering hard-hitting stuff. I'm not lying when I say this, especially with the high standards I hold to this character. This is genuinely one of the best comic books, if not the best comic book that DC is putting out right now. Not the hardest thing in the world to do. DC doesn't have a lot of books and not a whole lot of, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to get into all that stuff. I'm not here to bash anybody. But I'm loving the two Batman books right now, Detective and Batman Proper. Loving them right now, while I wasn't that much, not too long ago. And I mean, what else is there? There's The Flash. You know what I'm saying? I mean, geez, this is seriously a rock solid comic book that you could do worse by. You could do worse by on accident. I'm simply pointing that out. So yeah, you want to get yourself into a good comic book. And here's the really good thing about this. Here's where I'm going to do my little selling point, so to speak. And I don't get anything from this. I can assure you I don't. We're on issue number 22. Bruh, if you can get your hands on some trade paperbacks, I don't even know if DC's putting out trade paperbacks for these, because my comic book store doesn't get them. But if they are putting them out, then I'm sure your comic book store can order at least one for you. I would highly recommend getting this in trade. Okay, the floppies are great. If you got to get the floppies, do the floppies. At some point, they all go to the dollar bin anyway, right? Unless there's some special, magical, oh my God, it's a key first appearance. You're not going to find too many keys with Hawkman. And that's one of the things I love about Hawkman. You can't cheat and make a good-selling Hawkman comic book by saying, oh, we're going to add a new character in here. Because for the most part, nobody cares. Hawkman's a hard character to write for. You've got to simply deliver great story and put down good art. You can't clown around with this character. So it is what it is, and that's all it is, But all that being said, if you can get these on trade paperback, I highly recommend it, because this, like for me, this book sucks you in. And it's a standard size issue, it's standard cover price and all that good stuff. But when push comes to shove, I sit here and I read this book and I'm just like, wait, it's already over? I flip through, I'm like, Okay, a lot of stuff happened, but how is this already over? Not fair. Not fair. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up the thing. Listen, if you got 10 minutes or so worth of enjoyment out of this, I think the least you could do is drop a like. And hey, worst case scenario, if you ever see an ad on Comic Book University, considering let the damn thing play, because that's the only way your favorite YouTubers get paid. Just saying. Do it in a different window, all right? Watch your video in a different window and let this ad just play. You don't have to click on anything, just don't click away. And that's all. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.